You ever notice something? When a man is truly becoming himself, the world gets quieter. People you thought were permanent start fading like background noise. Invitations dry up. The room changes when you walk in, not because you're disliked, but because you no longer need anything from anyone. A chosen man walks alone, not out of bitterness, but because the path he's walking can't hold a crowd. It's strange. The more you find your direction, the more you lose your company. Not dramatically, just naturally. Your priorities shift, your tolerance shrinks, your mind sharpens. And suddenly the places you used to fit start feeling too small. You start realizing that solitude isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's the universe stripping away the noise so you can hear your own voice for the first time. A chosen man doesn't avoid people, he simply refuses to dilute himself to belong. And that choice, that inner commitment, is what sets him apart long before the world ever calls him different. When a man finally accepts that he's not built for the ordinary, something in him changes. He stops chasing validation. He stops waiting for approval. He stops bending just to keep the peace. There's a moment quiet, almost invisible, where he realizes that most people aren't meant to understand him. They aren't supposed to. Their world is built on comfort. His is built on clarity. And that's when the walk alone begins. Not the lonely kind, the intentional kind. The kind where you pull back from shallow conversations because they drain you. Where you stop explaining your silence because it's not meant to be explained. Where you choose your own company over cheap entertainment because your mind is becoming your sharpest weapon. People think the chosen man isolates because he's cold. They're wrong. He isolates because he's evolving. He's shedding the versions of himself that were built for survival, not truth. And that evolution is uncomfortable to anyone who hasn't faced themselves. When you start seeing through people's masks, you talk less. When you stop needing constant stimulation, you move slower. When you recognize your own potential, you naturally outgrow the circles that once felt like home. That's why the chosen man walks alone, because walking with the crowd would require him to shrink. And here's the part most men never understand. That solitude you fear, it becomes the place where your real power is born. In the silence, you hear your instincts again. In the stillness, your priorities reorder themselves. In the emptiness, your discipline becomes unbreakable. And the world can feel that. That's why they watch you from a distance. That's why your absence becomes louder than their presence. A chosen man doesn't seek the throne. He builds himself until the throne seeks him. But the question is never about destiny. The real question is, are you willing to walk that path alone? Long enough for it to reveal who you really are?